Good morning. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for July 29th, 2017.
Today on the Newscast, we talk Articuno.
We've got some more Justice League information coming out.
And even more Pokemon stuff. Stay tuned.
Pokemon?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast.
Pokemon.
July 29th.
Hey,
Still
Still.
July 29th.
Can't believe it's almost August.
Yeah, I can believe that.
How long am I?
When school.
August
Oh, that's
28th
not too
for me.
bad.
Me too.
Surprise!
We don't go back on that day.
I do.
No.
I'm
Surprise.
part of the design team.
That sounds very official and
The labor person, that's all I am.
the labor man. Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast, guys.
Yeah.
My name's Tony.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And let's go. Let's
Jump
talk.
to it.
Let's talk stuff.
Pokemon.
So I guess Pokemon GoFest happened.
Hold on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
My head is
What'd
in
you do?
My head is in.
I changed the TV screen.
What are you doing?
See, it says,
What are you doing?
It says Pokemon on it now.
It does say that right there. I can see that.
Hey.
Pointing at the logo, but you know. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm doing this.
Oh,
It
just
says
as a general, like pointing at the screen. Yeah.
so Pokemon GoFest happened exactly 1 week from today, or last week.
Yes.
And
That's why you weren't here.
well,
That's why
there was a
you
reason
were
why I
not
wasn't here last week, and honestly, as a postmortem goes, it was a okay event.
Okay.
It was all right. So
I heard it was bad.
So there are good things that have happened, and there were not so good things that have happened. And so let's start with sort of the
Good.
negative stuff.
Start with the good.
No, we'll start with the negative stuff because I think
We'll finish on the good stuff.
there's reason why it was a bad stuff. So people who couldn't go to Chicago, some of the big issues were long lineups. People couldn't get into the actual event until closer to noon, which is not surprising. But the event actually started at 9 for them. And so there were people who couldn't literally get into the event. Eventually, everyone was able to be funneled in. From my understanding, it just took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Another issue was the cell service. Actually, the game kept basically locking out and crashing. And again, if you played Pokemon Go when it first came out, the same issues were present.
Mm-hmm.
When you have too many people on one server, guess what? It crashes.
Crazy.
And so a lot of the issues were that the cellular networks were having trouble keeping up. Now, in Niantic's defense, they actually did reach out to all the cell providers, Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint and stuff like that, and said, hey, we've got this thing coming. We might have a lot of people in one area. Do you think your cell phone towers can hold it? Handle it? And so all of them were like, yeah, no. Verizon's like, yeah, we got this. AT&T's like, yeah, sure, yeah, we got this. And then Niantic's like, are you sure? Can you bring out cell on? So they had these. Cell providers have these things called cell on wheels.
Okay, so
And
essentially a cell tower.
Yeah, it's a portable cell tower.
Yeah.
And so even Niantic said, like, hey, guys, we see that you said you guys can do it. Can you still bring these towers out? Like, you guys all have them. And the only people who were able to do it, or who did it was Sprint. Sprint and I think their subsidiary, whatever it is.
Sure, that's like here we have TELUS, which is also attached to Kudo, which
Kudo.
is also
Yeah.
attached
Essentially.
to like.
So if you were a Sprint / whatever the provider is there, you had a great time at Pokemon GoFest. You had no issues playing if you were Sprint. If you were Sprint.
But it's everyone else.
Everyone else. So
That makes the
AT&T,
news.
Verizon, Virgin Mobile, I think even was having troubles. Like it was a complete gong show in terms of, getting people logged into the game because people were crashing. Like they couldn't catch the Pokemon there. They couldn't interact with any of the stops.
And that was a big deal, was
Right.
being able to
And
you had to catch things
right.
to actually
Well,
make
yeah.
the whole.
Well, and sort of.
Well, but it wasn't
whole
like they
purpose
just.
of it.
It wasn't like they just threw out like Articuno and were
No,
like,
no.
have a go.
No.
No,
It
no.
was like you have to catch
Yes, you have to
X
catch-
amount to unlock.
Right.
Yeah.
And so another big thing is that to actually play in Pokemon GoFest, you actually had to spin the stops that they had set up, scan a QR code to basically unlock the whole event in your game. You can't just be a passerby and just kind of
Oh, okay.
play the game or play it in Pokemon GoFest. And
Yeah.
you get the QR code when you bought your tickets, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, like there's been a lot of he said, she said going between Niantic and the cell providers. But honestly, Niantic did everything in their power to let them know, to say, hey, this is happening. And I think a part of why Sprint was so forward and open with it is that they were getting sponsored Pokestops from the beginning.
Right.
And so Sprint understands what Pokemon Go is. They understand the demand for it.
They're with the
and so
times.
they were ready for it. And so it's like good on Sprint.
Sure.
To be honest, like they understood what people wanted. And on top of that, just lots of issues with the timing of certain guest speakers, like people weren't there or people were too long. Either way, what they ended up doing was, or I think they've ended up doing it, is they're refunding individuals' tickets for the Pokemon Go Fest. Now, it's only about $20.
Yeah.
It's only about $25 or whatever like that. And they're, I guess they're awarding $100 in-game currency.
So 100 like cash to
$100
transfer over to coins?
Yeah, $100 worth of Pokecoins. So you can.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of compensation, and so
I heard that's not enough for some people.
it's not
though.
enough because if
Well,
you
some
think
people traveled from.
Japan, Europe,
Yeah.
Australia,
There's
like all
lawsuits
across
going on now.
and that was sort of the big bit of it. And I agree. I see what they're talking about because I actually read into that story a little bit of the people who are, again, following those lawsuits.
Yeah.
They don't want millions and millions of dollars. They just want their travel reimbursed.
Sure.
That's all it
that
is that
makes
they're looking
sense.
for. They're
That
not
makes
looking
sense.
for millions of dollars because it's
So they're not being greedy.
yeah, no, they just want that stuff, and I get that, and I
I understand that one more than
100%.
anything, because, and again, like there was even a guy on Reddit, which was kind of funny. He was, I forgot, Associated Press or one of the newspapers took his picture while he was sitting there, like looking at his phone in desperation, dressed like he had dressed up, so he looked like.
I think I saw that picture.
So
too.
he's
that
like,
went viral.
It went huge because he's like, I made like the front page of the Associated Press or whatever it happened to the Huffington Post, whatever it happened to be.
Yeah.
Some major news.
It's some major news outlet, and he's like, yeah, I made the front page. Like, this is, like, he's like...
Okay.
Well, and he kind of felt bad, because he's, like, a 30-something guy, and there's a lot of 30-somethings that think, I play Pokemon, I shouldn't be on 30, it's kind of weird.
But we
Yeah.
get sometimes.
But honestly, like,
But I don't feel that way. Like,
and you think
I
about
know,
But and you think
I
about,
get funny looks every once
Oh,
in a
yeah.
while when I talk about stuff, but in the long run, it's like, I don't care. He was talking on Reddit like, oh, like, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, but he came from California.
Mhm.
And I mean, he still had an okay time.
Mhm.
But yeah, this picture of him was like,
It was-
this depressed, like him with his
Have you
phone,
seen
like,
it?
No.
We'll show it to you later. Then
he was just like,
yeah, he was sitting in the corner with his
Yeah.
legs crossed, trying to be like, eh. I find it funny that during the live stream, if you actually paid attention to the live stream, they had several instances where they had they were filming people trying to play the game,
Yeah.
and literally trying to play the game because they're trying to hit out, like press the X button. The game was locking out on the live stream. They don't know how microphones work,
Apparently.
so a lot of the times outside audio got into the microphone while I was live streaming,
Oh.
where the presenter would be like, "Are you guys ready to take part in the next challenge window?" And then someone in the back yelled, "We fucking can!" I'm like, what? What is this? So, and then the third piece of the sort of the making good on Pokemon Go Fest is all the individuals who took part in Go Fest got awarded a free Lugia to
Right.
their account. No need to catch it or anything. They just got it. Well, I don't know if it's deposited quite yet, but ideally,
when the game starts working again, though.
it is working now. And I think the big thing is that the game is currently working. And so, yeah, that's Pokemon Go in a nutshell. The good news, I mean, sort of the big piece that I would have liked to be in is the social part of it, the community aspect of it. Just having hanging out with tons of people.
Well, and that's what that guy from California even said. He goes, like, it wasn't a waste of a trip. I got to meet some very cool people.
And think about it, again, you have people coming
People with
from
the same
Australia,
interests.
Japan. It's kind of awesome.
My
like,
biggest piece for that is, too, like, wanting a refund, I kind of get, but at the same time, you went mostly to meet people.
Right, you're not going there
Well,
just... okay,
and-
that's totally what I would have been
Well,
drawn to.
and see, like,
Yeah,
if
but
I'm
being
going
a
to a...
non-social person, though, you might not be there.
I know, but then
think, though,
you can
that-
catch Pokemon anywhere.
Right, and...
But
like,
like,
if you
there's
go
a
to a-
special thing with this.
I know. If you
The
go
way
to a
you
comic book
I was
convention,
just gonna
like,
say,
you
you
go
treat
for
it
the
like comic-
panels, you go for the...
Yeah.
And you're
they do
around
the same thing.
And you're around similar-minded people.
Yeah.
You're there playing Pokemon Go. Everyone
Well,
knows.
but if you're not a social person,
Correct.
you're not
Right.
necessarily going there to be social.
Right. Yeah. It's a catch-22, and I totally get everyone's point of view.
I get it.
I
get it.
It's funny because John Hankey, the CEO of Niantic,
Yeah.
he, unfortunately, and I don't personally agree with this. He was booed on stage when he was trying to do his opening bit.
That's because people didn't know what was going on.
Right. And
I was
so
going to say, you got a lot
yeah.
of frustrated people.
And you know what? Good on him, because as soon as he was finished on stage, he didn't just walk off the back and behind the curtains. He actually stayed on stage the whole time, like talking to people on the stage.
Yeah.
And kudos to him for just expressing, listening to them, having them vent to him. Because honestly, like, I can't think of another CEO who would go to that length of being like, I'm going right in the fray. You guys, you guys are frustrated. Let me take my notepad. I'm gonna, what do you guys want to see? What are your guys' problems? Like, honestly, like, that's huge. And he's a CEO. He's not like a programmer or anything. He is a programmer. He knows
Because
how
if people don't play his game,
right.
he's going to lose money.
Right.
Well,
They're not gonna
it's
lose
not
money.
like-
They're not gonna lose money anytime soon. But kudos to him to basically being out there
Yeah.
and being the voice of Niantic, which he should be, and just kind of taking it all in. So honestly, like, kudos to him. John Hankey is awesome.
Well,
for
and then
being a part of that. Like, I get that your event didn't go as planned.
and it's
for
unfortunate.
next
Like,
time.
well,
Yes.
but knowing that the cell providers were notified,
Yes.
and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. That
Yes.
takes a lot of it off. Like, because that was our talk when we, after we stopped
Yeah.
the show last week and we did all of our other stuff. We were talking about it, going, well, if the cell people, like, Niantic should have contacted them.
Yes.
Well, if
And
they
the-
did, then they did their job.
Yeah.
They did, because they don't
Right.
provide this. They don't control AT&T. They don't control.
Right, they can't sit there and go AT&T, like, make
But
it
now
happen.
we-
They can go AT&T, like,
We're letting you know, like, 2 or 5 months ahead of time that this is going to happen.
yeah,
Well, yeah, and now they'll be
prepare your
smarter about
buttholes.
right.
Like, and so another thing about that is closer to the end of the event, the Pokemon GoFest stuff was initially, I guess, situated in that one park in Chicago.
Yeah.
I guess around 1 o'clock or something like that. They actually expanded that
You
to
pressed
2
a button
miles.
and made it go bigger.
2 miles away from the park. So that alleviated a lot of the cellular congestion. And so a lot of people ended up just, playing the game, but, walking around the streets of downtown of Chicago and stuff like that.
Yeah, get to see the sights.
I was going to say,
Kind
at
of
least you kind of get to see
Yeah.
Chicago.
some of it.
Especially for the people that flew in just for the event.
Yeah.
And had to leave the next couple days.
Yeah.
So that's basically it for my
That's
the
GoFest.
Pokemon Go postmortem.
Speaking of developers finally doing their stuff, Friday the 13th, the patch finally went live on Xbox,
Oh, for what? Just in general?
fixing it so people can actually play it now.
I blame Microsoft for that.
Well, and that's the big piece is, like, everybody's been blaming Gun and Infotech or whatever the other developer's name is.
I
And
blame
it's,
Microsoft.
and it's like, well, but PlayStation got the patch.
Yeah.
And the PC got the patch.
It's a Microsoft problem.
So then everybody's like, well, make sure the patches go live for everything at the same time now. And it's like, I'm pretty sure they just, like, submitted the patches.
Yes.
And then it was up to
Microsoft,
Microsoft,
or the,
Sony,
the publisher,
Steam,
or
da, da, da,
whatever.
da, da, da. And I mean, Steam, it's instant. You put it on there, and Steam's
Yeah,
just like,
it's-
okay, like, sure. It's,
whatever. And I think Sony's basically the same.
Sony's pretty quick. But yeah, so...
My understanding of the Microsoft certification stuff is that it takes it's like Apple. It takes forever to approve patches and updates.
So either
for
way,
apps
the
and games.
subreddit for Friday the 13th is much less salty now than it has been. 'Cause
Oh, it's
it-
entertainment though.
Oh, it was... They finally released the patch, and everybody's like, well, this is still bugged. And we're like, are you serious? You get to play the game now. And like one guy's like, I'm having a blast. Like, yeah, this happens and that happens. Or like the car keys fall through the floor every once in a while and you can't get them again.
does it?
Like stuff happens. There's still bugs. But everybody's like, that's part of the game. Like, think about it in the movies. The keys will fall through the floorboards.
Yeah.
Like, just guys, like, throw it into the game. Yeah, like
horror movie.
Yeah.
You get lost. You get the keys get lost in the keys or the grass.
Sure, something stupid at like in every because Brian came over last week and we watched the new Friday the 13th movie, and the whole time we're watching it, I'm like, do you mind if I like talk because I've seen this 3 times now in like the last little bit, and he's like, no, that's fine. And one guy shows up and he's like, is that Chad? And I'm like, no, I'm like, Chad's based off of that rich asshole character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like the archetypes are in the game, so you'll see them all in the movie. So as they're going through the movie, he's like, oh my god, it's that guy. And he was talking more than I was. Like, it was hilarious because he was just like, oh my god. And he's like, no, don't go that way, do this. Like, da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden, like, Jason throws an axe like right into a guy's spine, and he's like, he can't do that in the game. And I'm like, could you imagine if he could?
Well, he can throw the tridents, can't he?
He can throw the knives.
No, there's I thought there was a costume where he's got a
Savini Jason. No, that's one of the kills. He can't actually throw it.
Oh, because I was watching a stream where the guy threw a trident. So
yeah, that's Savini Jason. That's the special Jason that you have to pay money for, or get luckily for free if it shows up on your like respective store for free or $6 or something like that.
But yeah,
yeah. So there you go. That's
good developer stuff.
Good developers, and kudos to Niantic.
Yeah, like they stuck it.
They tried.
They stuck through it. Like it could have been far worse than
it's a learning lesson.
And then they've extended stuff too, so we can just hop into the Articuno stuff. They've extended a bunch of junk just to make sure that everybody's had a chance to do everything.
The big thing was the bonus challenges, which we were all supposed to try and unlock on the day. Yeah. And I kind of find it funny because they got caught changing the thresholds for the amount of Pokemon that you needed to catch for that. So they're just like,
well, you had to make up for it, though.
Right. And so that was the big thing. It's like tons of people around the world and in Chicago were trying to play the game, and so ended up all the mystery award challenges, everything got unlocked for 48 hours. And Lugia and Articuno now are available in raids.
Yeah.
Well, since Pokemon GoFest.
now.
And so the Articuno's cutoff, I think, is the 31st.
This weekend.
Yeah. No, it's cut off as on Sunday
Sunday
or Monday.
Probably Sunday night.
Sunday or Monday.
Sunday.
Something like that. Just because Mystic was the team that contributed the most for the challenges. Also the most popular team in the world, which surprises no one.
I have to change teams.
I would.
I want to switch teams.
So I kind of like Instinct too. The next team that contributed the most to the catching awards, Valor, no surprise, short after. So Moltres will be in legendary raids coming in Monday through till the 7th, I believe. So I think 2 weeks. You'll get
7th.
Yeah.
No,
so just a week then. Yeah, because Articuno was a week then too. So yeah, Moltres will be available for about a week.
And then I assume.
And then Zapdos will follow shortly thereafter. Now they haven't talked about when Lugia was going to get rotated, so we're going to find out when Articuno gets...
After Zapdos.
I'm assuming after Zapdos, and a lot of people are wondering, because there's another event happening in Japan, the Pikachu outbreak in one of the malls there.
Yeah.
People are theorizing that Ho-Oh will get rotated.
Ho-Oh's the other legendary with Lugia.
Yeah. It's super cool. It's my second favorite Pokemon.
It's the original theme song.
Think about Phoenix. It's like a phoenix.
But the original theme song, that was like the bird that flew over right at the beginning. Ho-Oh.
It's a phoenix. It's a phoenix. It's the phoenix Pokemon. Yeah. And so people are theorizing that Ho-Oh will appear in the legendary raids in Japan first, and then around the world shortly thereafter. Yeah. Now, so if you're watching this now, go out.
Go get Articuno.
Go get your Articuno.
I saw one the other day. I was sitting on my couch. I saw one over at the church. I was like, not that church. Like,
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And I'm like,
they are a beast.
Yeah.
I guarantee that. You need a lot of Pokemon to try and take
Graham said he tried to do it by himself.
Yeah. You're not gonna have a good time.
No.
You need you need at least 15 people to take down those suckers, and everyone needs to have a good Tyranitar, Gyarados.
Hey Graham, contact me next time. I'm home.
Yeah, I've got some Tyranitars that are really good against Lugia.
Not that I'll be useful because all my Pokemon suck. Cause
I will use my Flareon.
Flareon would be good against Articuno.
I will use my Pikachu.
My Flareon, I think, is my best.
Or my Snorlax, I don't know.
Snorlax with a hat. Imagine that.
Snorlax with a hat. Superpower!
Fantastic. So yeah, Go out and get your Articuno while they can, because they made no mention of when Zapdos is done. They don't mention when these birds are going to come back.
Once a year.
I can't imagine they won't reappear.
They'll reappear.
But
you're not going to lock content away from
Mewtwo will be next.
new people.
No, next will be the legendary dogs. Suicune, Raikou, and Entei. Presumably.
I want my Mewtwo.
I don't want Mewtwo right now.
I want to be the very best.
The very
Sitting
best.
on a couch.
I will level him up.
Sitting on the couch.
The problem with the legendary Pokemon is that you can level them up like you normally would, but the candies for them are so hard to find.
You pretty much have to make them
You have to catch.
your
Even if
buddy
you
and walk.
Oh, you need. Guess how many kilometers
Why
you
would
need
they
to walk
walk
for?
when they fly?
Okay,
Well, you're gonna fly with them. You get on them. You get on them.
Like a
They'll
kite.
ride you. You'll ride the bird.
Articuno would be cold to ride though.
And your crotch falls off due to frostbite.
Chilly. 20 kilometers for a single candy. Think about this. It's 5 kilometers for a regular
4 runs.
I was just gonna say that's 4 runs.
for a single candy.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's a legendary. They're legendary
Yes,
Pokemon.
and that's the thing. You need minimum 2
Yeah, but
candies
I
per
run-
level up. So you're essentially walking 40 kilometers.
Yeah, it's okay.
If
That's
I was
8 days
willing
of
to have
Pokemon.
my game on while I run and while I walk everywhere,
Don't
then
run
sure.
Don't run too fast.
Yeah, you can't. It won't like it doesn't like
Don't run fast, don't worry. Run for long
so
distances, not fast.
the silver lining is that when you beat the legendary raid bosses, you can get certain items to help you level up every Pokemon faster. It's called a rare candy, which acts as a candy for every single Pokemon when you use it.
Oh yeah.
So you can use those rare candies on Lugia, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres for a free candy. And I've got like 60 or 70 of them right now.
Of course you do.
I'm waiting. Of course I do. Of course.
That's fine.
Well, duh. Come on.
Yeah.
know.
Who are
I'm
you
just
talking?
gonna save it.
Who
Anybody.
Who you look?
I know.
Who you
I'm
talking to?
yeah.
I'm waiting for Moltres because I think Moltres is going to be the best one to have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Zapdos.
well, Moltres has got the best typing in the game right
Zapdos.
now. Zapdos is a good second. Is a second for me.
I just always thought Zapdos looked badass.
They all look badass.
Nah, Zapdos out of all.
They all-
He was my favy. Back in the day, back in the
liked
original
them all.
Pokemon day.
I like Mewtwo.
Well, and you know what? It's funny because I forgot how hard it was to actually catch those bloody things
Mhm.
back in Red and Blue,
It's
and then
still
when I
the
got
same-
and then when I got them on the Virtual Console, like Red and Blue on the Virtual Console, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I found Zapdos. I'm like, yeah, got him down to like
1 HP.
whatever
Yeah.
this was,
Yeah.
and I'm like, a Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, all of the Pokeballs, go,
Everything
go,
but the
go,
Master.
everything but the Master Ball, which I'm saving, like,
Yes, exactly.
and I've made it through the whole game at this point, catching everything with just Pokeballs. Like I was doing a challenge where it was like, just
Yeah.
regular Pokeballs, and I get to him, and I'm just like, well, I have a shit ton of everything else because I haven't been using them, and I'm status affecting him, doing everything I can.
The worst
and
ones
it's
is when like it doesn't
Put him
even
to
like
sleep.
shake. It just like pops open
Yeah.
right away.
Put him to sleep.
Those are the worst.
I did. Like I had him. I had used every status effect other than
Yeah.
poison.
Yep.
You don't want to use that one.
Well, no, because then he would have
Don't burn
died.
him
Yeah,
either.
poor-
But that's what I mean. Like I was
Burn looking at that time.
I'm paralyzed.
Yeah.
He was asleep. Like I was doing everything I possibly could. And I'm like, why won't you get in the freaking ball?
You save and you keep trying.
And I did. I'm not an idiot. I've done it
Unfortunately-
before.
I know.
Unfortunately, with the legendary raid bosses, depending on how well you do in the fight
Yeah.
with them, you get X amount of bonus balls to try and catch them. And if you
Ah.
can't catch the legendary Pokemon in say 8 or 9 balls, it runs away.
Okay.
So you have to do a raid again?
Yes.
Ugh.
I've seen
Nick
people.
out.
I've seen people who are 0 and 12.
Oh.
That would,
0 and 12.
see, that would just...
That would
bug me.
deflate me so much.
Yep. I
That
always
bugs
go
me.
back to playing Splatoon.
And right now I'm 4 for 5.
That
So
bugged me.
I'm stop. I'm
What?
Playing those ranked modes, but we'll talk about that
Yeah.
later.
so yeah, that's
Bugs me.
been.
I know it's so discouraging in that game too.
So yeah, that's the Pokemon Go Fest postmortem.
Pokemon in general.
Yeah, Pokemon Go and Pokemon Go Festing. I really look forward to see what they do in the future. To be honest, like if to take all the lessons that they learned from this one and apply it to other events, because they've already delayed the Europe Safari Zone because they recognize that hey, we want to make sure that our events kind of pop off with no issues, so we're going to push those back a little bit.
And to be fair, they did learn. Like they contacted people. They did all the right things.
And they
Bad things
talk-
happen and you learn.
Yes, and you move on. You don't.
And that's the biggest piece is to just either you carry forward and you learn from what happened And if it happens again,
then that's just...
then you're in a state of going like, okay, what up?
Because shortly after Pokemon GoFest was done,
switching over to Sprint.
there was a there was a event in I think UK which actually went off without a hitch shortly thereafter.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's
Like,
the thing.
They learned that quick.
Yeah.
It's like, who do I have to contact to make sure things go?
Yeah.
And now the cell providers, because you can't say that they were happy that all of a sudden, like, people actually trying to make phone calls and get text messages weren't calling in going like,
they can't use
I cannot call, and they can't even call. They have to like call off a landline. Like, I can't call my grandmother.
And again, a little bit of it was like, hey, maybe next time Niantic should just forego that and just set up wireless routers everywhere. Like
whatever works.
Like, would that be a better? I don't like. A lot
just
of
have people walking around with hotspots or like I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever
like just
works.
pay Niantic the employees just to walk around, just tell all the attendants like this. These are the Wi-Fi's that you can connect to.
Yeah.
Like just go at it, have at it, right? Like
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
like,
what the solution is.
the solution is not to trust the American cell phone providers.
Apparently.
North American cell phone providers are crap though.
Yeah, opposed to like Japan or Europe or.
I was gonna say Europe and Japan have
Like,
it so much better.
There's light years ahead of what we have.
You get
here.
people coming over here, like there's again on Reddit, someone was talking, going like they were moving to Alberta from Europe,
Have fun.
and they were like, "Well, I've been looking up cell phone providers. Like, is everything there like $80 a month?"
Yep.
And it's like, if you want any kind of decent,
Yes.
yeah. And they're just like, "What the crap? Like, I pay $30 and get unlimited data and this and this and this and this in Europe," and I'm like,
And my speeds are amazingly
well,
fast.
and everywhere in Europe. Like, never mind, like, you leave, if you go with Freedom Mobile
country.
now or whatever, and you go into the country, you're hooped.
And just imagine they're thinking of removing that. What's that thing called? The net neutrality.
Well, they've been working on that in the States for years.
Yeah, and they're just I don't know where
That
that's
won't
going.
happen. The CRTC won't let that happen in Canada.
No, we just in December they solidified that.
Yeah.
So
The CRT all the bad things the CRTC does, every once in a while they pull off something good, and you're like, hey,
yeah, because in December,
thanks CRTC.
come December, we can unlock our phones for $0.
Yes, they have to unlock them. You can go into TELUS and be like, unlock my phone.
Yes, come
Cool.
December,
Yeah. Not that
free of charge.
Not that my phone's.
Your phone's not gonna last till December.
Yeah.
Your phone's not gonna last till December. Let's be honest about that too.
Stupid phone.
Moving on.
Hold on.
We're gonna move on.
We're not Pokemoning anymore.
So
Last bit of news, because this is a bad news week.
no, we're gonna extend it. What are you talking about? So
There was something else that I thought of.
Anyway, well, you think of it.
I will. You guys
Yes.
keep talking.
I can't remember what the
So-
next one was.
Justice League.
That's
League.
great. That's funny.
So Justice League is going up and down in terms of the development.
It's not
I
up
still-
and down. It seems like
I
it's
still
going pretty steady now.
I still can't believe this movie is on track for November.
It's reshoots. It doesn't take long.
I was
No,
gonna
but-
say it's dialogue reshoots, which essentially you can go against a green screen
Mhm.
with a person's face, like over the shoulder camera, like
then
especially if they're just doing dialogue. If
Yeah.
they're keeping all the fight scenes, you're gonna
Well,
those
it
are
is.
big
dialogue
expensive.
and scenes that help connect each other.
But again, that can be
Right.
that could literally be like Batman walking from one room to another room.
It doesn't even have to be Ben Affleck because if he's in costume,
Right.
you can just have it's done.
Well, I think you'd notice.
Not if you have the right
Oh,
stand-in.
I don't know.
Well,
Anywho.
speaking of stand-ins, Henry Cavill,
Cavill.
Superman,
Soups.
who is in Justice League but not really.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. He was doing his reshoots, and right now he's doing Mission Impossible 6, and he's got a nice big, like mustache as part of his character in Mission Impossible. Well, Superman doesn't have a mustache that I know of.
He has a beard, I think. At
He
one
can get a
point.
beard, but I'm assuming
In this one, no.
I'm assuming in Justice League he and the last Man of Steel he doesn't have a mustache.
Nope.
And so people are like, "What? How are you going to do that? How are you going to remove your mustache if you can't remove your mustache?" Well, Henry posted a picture to his Instagram or social media. They are literally going to scan him in and then digitally remove his mustache from all the scenes.
Ah, it's terrible.
I
You
love-
gotta do what you gotta do,
I know,
guess.
right? So
You
I
can
find
just
that
eliminate Superman from the movie.
funny. Or yeah, just do that because it doesn't sound like the marketing has moved towards that anyways.
nope.
I mean, Superman's not in Justice League, guys.
Now and some of the bigger talk here too is Joss Whedon's doing more reshoots, which he kind of said he wasn't going to change Zack Snyder's
The
movie.
fight scenes and that are going to
Fight
stay
scene.
the same.
I know obviously he's not going to add any characters or anything
And
like
all that, but in all honesty, Zack Snyder, if he's going to film anything, it should be the fight scenes.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good at
those.
flashy stuff.
He's good. Joss Whedon coming in to do these connecting bits, I think is really going to push this movie into a different zone of like, we were going to get an okay movie,
Yeah.
possibly. I think we're going to get an actual...
Hold on.
Maybe another Wonder Woman.
we might get another one.
I totally just realized this. Joss Whedon's finally getting to do Wonder Woman.
In a backwards around way, yes, he actually gets to
Now that I
control
think
Wonder
about
Woman.
it, now that I think
all
about
those
it,
scenes are just her.
I just want to do a Wonder Woman movie, guys. This is my reason to do a Wonder Woman. You remember that movie I wanted? You guys all wanted, in the 2000s.
And then they were saying that Ezra Miller, I think his name
Or is
is
it Miller?
Yeah,
The Flash.
The
The guy who does
Flash.
the Flash.
Also has to do is having scheduling conflicts too, but
That's
he,
easy
his
enough.
he's doing a
Fantastic.
Fantastic Beasts sequel, but that's a WB movie too. So he's kind of on the same area.
He's
so
probably
it's not as bad.
He's probably in the same lot.
Yeah, they're in this. He's in the same area, so it's not as bad for him. But there's still scheduling issues.
His
with
character
him.
shows up in the Fantastic Beasts with the Flash outfit. Oh,
Oops.
Oh, wrong movie.
But for
that's
Soups, it's a little harder because he's on a different site altogether.
Also, mustache.
And the mustache. And the big
Mustache.
issue, the mustache.
So I find that funny that they're digitally putting him in just.
I don't know how I did.
I don't.
I want to.
The technology
Now I
is
want
there.
to watch that movie just to see where it is.
And people have probably did that for Fast and the Furious 6 too. With Paul Walker. Like, is
Well,
that
you
Paul
knew
Walker?
where it was at
Is that
the
Paul
end.
Walker?
7. You could tell the points where he was
Yeah.
not...
where
Paul
whenever the
Walker.
camera was behind him.
Or you get like a quick shot of like the side of like,
Yeah.
you get a weird shot and you're like... You get that kind of uncanny valley sort of...
It's a hidden. This
Yeah.
is going to be a hidden
They did a
game in
good
the
job,
Justice League movie.
Which they
Yeah.
did a good job
Where's
with.
his mustache?
In all honesty,
They did a
Fast
really
7 did a great job of hiding Paul
Yeah.
Walker.
Yes, they did. It was so
Yeah.
good.
And again, like, that ending scene where they're looking at each other and
You
you're
could
like,
tell.
Yeah,
you
that
can tell
worked.
it's fake, but you're still... Because they glossed the whole thing so, like, they
Yeah.
bloomed it out so much just because it's, like, the last scene and it's, like, his send-off and you're just like...
Yep.
And then you're cheering up so much that you don't
Why
really
is this a car movie?
like,
His action is not supposed to make me cry.
yeah,
I'm a man. Manly tears.
I think they just give Superman like a mask for part of the movie. He just
Masked
shows up in like a
Superman?
bandana
Who
for a
is
while.
it? Covers everything.
No,
Just
it's a
right here.
it's a Banditos bandana.
Hola,
Hola, mi amo
mi
Superman.
amo Superman.
It would
Oh,
almost make sense for him to have
see,
that though, because if he's
Everybody
in
thinks
it,
he's dead.
well, because he was in the grave and he's disappeared, so he can go unshaven for a long. He was even unshaven in the first movie.
He was. Didn't he
the Man
shave
Steel.
though finally?
but,
when-
no,
Yes.
but he had that was a different type of like beard.
That was a
though.
different grow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like the 12
Lazy.
o'clock.
But
shadow.
yeah,
Lazy.
no, it was not.
Yeah, it was in Man of Steel.
It was thicker.
Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman. Yeah,
It wasn't
like
a Batman
in the
versus, or wasn't a Batman versus Superman. It was,
yeah, like the one that he has for Mission Impossible 6 is a full on like up here, like
Yeah.
and down there. It wouldn't work.
I think they could just.
it wouldn't
They
work.
could have had him do it.
It's easier to digitally remove it than it is to contractually get him to shave it off.
I'm not saying shave it off. I'm saying he can grow the rest of it out, even it out.
That takes time though, depending on your.
the character. Even the
Well, you
body
just
type.
glue hair on him.
I was gonna say they can put fake beards.
Fake
Let's face it. You look at most movies and what
could.
they do for hair. Like most of the hair you see on TV is not people's real hair.
Oh no, I remember when
Even
Big Bang.
Chris Evans,
Sure.
he's got a toupee for that bit.
Yeah.
Not a huge toupee, but
But I was even remembering back when Big Bang, I think it was the second season, or start of the third season when they all had those beards.
Yeah.
And they were talking to one of the guys, and they said, they told us to grow out the beards. We were, and then they told us to shave it off, and they're just going to glue the hair on.
Right. Because they do. They have realistic looking enough
Yeah.
props now. Like it's not like it used to be where you could sit there and go, wow. Unless it's the Fantastic Four movie where they put that crappy out. Like it's like, quick, find something blonde. Thunk. And stuck it on her head for the reshoots of the next half of that movie.
I don't remember most of that movie.
If you watch the second half, so after that, a year later break, whatever.
Are you talking about Fan Four Stick?
Yeah, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that movie at all.
Her blonde hair in the second half of the movie is completely a horribly done wig.
Okay.
I
watched it on an airplane. So.
To be fair, Jessica Alba also had a horrible wig, but that movie itself was cheesy and corny, and she was supposed to have that look to her, whereas this one was like dark, gritty, and it's like crap wig. And you're going,
maybe she was bald and
well, no, she had gone
Invisible Woman just
she had gone to do whatever because it was reshoots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she had changed her hairstyle up to a point where they're like, no, you need to have like, it's a year later, your blonde hair should be like down to here because apparently you've been unkempt and not getting your hair cut. So they put this wig on her.
As one does.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully Justice League turns out still. I think
it would be pretty decent with Whedon coming in and doing this stuff.
I believe so too, and that's the biggest piece, is if anybody's going to come in and film those kinds of scenes.
Because Joss Whedon's really good with the story bits.
He knows how to do those.
Well, and that was what was missing in Batman vs. Superman was
character.
And connecting bits. Like, that movie jumped around so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And made no, like, all of a sudden it's like you're back to
like Doomsday,
Superman complaining about something.
Like, Doomsday would have been okay if they explained why Doomsday was there.
I think that movie would have been better without Doomsday.
Oh, I agree,
there.
but like, in the sense that Doomsday was there, like, they could have introduced him a lot better than just, oh, suddenly he's here.
Yeah, in the second,
like, they could have explained
Superman movie.
They could have had him do something.
Well, because Lex Luthor can be a villain on his own.
Yep.
Lex Luthor could have been the Riddler.
Comics have shown
so have most of the other Superman movies.
Lex Luthor
and Smallville.
Yeah.
Jesse
everywhere he's been, he could do his own.
Jesse Eisenberg should have been Riddler. Just saying.
No.
Well, the problem was too is that if you read everything, they mixed Joker and they did. Joker was supposed to be in that movie.
Mm-hmm. Was he?
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Joker was supposed to be in that movie with Lex Luthor, and they went, "There's not going to be enough time for two villains," but they liked some of the lines they already had for Joker. So they threw it over to Lex.
Yet they still had enough time to squeeze in Doomsday.
Yeah, well, that's probably why they got
Doomsday was not a speaking line. Had a new speaking line.
Doomsday's got lines in the comics. He
but
talks.
he did not talk here in that movie.
Clearly,
he growled at you
and got killed. I don't even care about spoilers.
No, Superman's dead.
No, he's not.
Not dead.
Yeah, he is. According to the last movie. Shut up. No, what reshoots? This is fake news, guys. It's not real news.
No.
Oh, good. Oh dear. Are you searching?
I'm fact checking.
Are you searching for that thing you were looking for?
I was like, maybe I can jog my brain.
You get a chance the Destiny 2 stuff?
No, I didn't do that beta.
I heard the beta was kind of all over the place. That they had to even extend it.
Yeah, they extended it for whatever reason. I think it was down.
Did they have server connectivity issues too? Everyone has server connectivity.
Oh, yes. Well, Overwatch Doomfist is now available to public.
Officially. Yeah. So if you want to play Doomfist, go ahead and get your Doom fisting on.
I haven't played
me
that in a while.
It's been Splatoon 2 and Pokemon Go for me this week.
Spoilers. In general.
Spoilers. Surprises. Surprises.
That was kind of, I think, what it was.
I think as cool as Doomfist was, I want them to have like a huge story thing to connect all the characters together into one giant. Not necessarily a single player.
He's
mode,
a villain. He comes in.
But I want some, and they're doing really good with the story stuff in Overwatch, Blizzard. But it's just they've got the Uprising stuff, which is super cool. They got the Doomfist stuff, which is again super cool.
So we have this. If you're interested in other weird ass news, is the Paranormal Activity VR game for the PlayStation's coming out.
It is out, isn't it?
Boy.
No, they've released the August 15th.
I will get a PlayStation VR soon enough.
The best part about this is they've shown this as tech demos.
Yes.
The Paranormal Activity VR game.
Yeah.
It has had people on the floor in the fetal position because it is that scary.
Perfect.
And I'm just like, that's what I want. And the best part is it's at show floors because it's at conventions. It's the only place where you could play this thing. And you walk by the booth and there's just people cowering on the floor.
That's exactly what I want VR to do. If I'm gonna do VR,
if you're just
it's either
scared, just take it off.
But you don't think of, like, that's how immersive it gets.
That's
you're
how
just
VR,
like,
VR
oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
especially when you have like headphones
oh
on.
my God.
When you have nice surround sound,
Yep.
sound canceling headphones, and that's all you hear. It's
So yeah, they just like cower on. They're on a show floor, like in the fetal position, like, oh, don't let it get me.
I need it.
And along with that, too, is this guy passed away this week, which is not a, like, if you don't know Disney, it's not huge news.
I don't. That name doesn't ring a bell to me.
But Marty Sklarl is an Imagineer, and Imagineers at Disney are the ones that do all the rides and all this stuff in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
This guy has opened every single park, so his hands have been in every park. He's done rides from Pirates of the Caribbean to the Haunted Mansion. Like, he's the one who
Did he do a lot of the Marvel stuff too, like the Guardians?
he might have been involved in that, but he does most of the animatronic stuff and like designing the rides and designing the like all that stuff. And he's like the last one left from when Disney was still alive.
Oh.
So he just passed away.
So he's sort of like the last one who would have worked with Disney kind of stuff.
Yeah, which is like, you know, in Disney terms, it's like, damn, like we're finally.
It's kind of like who's that guy? I can't remember his name. He did Saruman in Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
I can't
Christopher
remember.
Lee.
Christopher Lee. He was the last person to have worked with J.R.R. Tolkien
yes,
on the Lord of the Rings movies.
Mm-hmm.
He actually knew him.
yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, this is kind of the end of an era for that kind of stuff. And this guy, like, all the time was like, well, this is how Walt would have wanted stuff, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Because I'm not sure if we talked about it. Pirates of the Caribbean was changing one of their scenes.
Yes, because there was slavery, or the women.
It was they were selling women. It's a prostitution thing.
It's a brothel thing.
Not even brothel. It's literally a sign that goes like, buy women here.
that's
like it is.
That's very straightforward.
Well, and it's hilarious. And I always found it funny because you'd go by and there's a pirate, like, with a woman who's tied up, essentially in this big dress, and he's like, you know, show them your larboard side, and you're just like, because there's a bunch of guys.
That's a pirate.
Like, and then there's in the background there's pirates chasing women around.
Yeah.
And then there's finally like the last scene is a woman chasing a pirate around with like a frying pan sort of thing, like to clock the pirate.
Sure.
It's a cute little comedy scene, and I mean I rode that ride when I was 6. Mm-hmm. I never went like, oh yeah, buying women, woo! But they're
that's exactly what they want kids to know. That's a takeaway.
And I never did. Like, I don't think anybody ever rode that ride going like, okay, buying women's cool.
Well,
like,
you never know.
But I think
either way, they're changing it now, and they're making the lady who's getting sold. She's now a pirate.
Sure.
Just they're updating the ride, and everybody kind of got a little up in arms about it because you're sitting there going, well, that was a kind of a. You know, it's an iconic part of that ride if you've been on it enough. Changing it's kind of, and this guy was the one who Marty was the one who came up and go, Disney wanted that part changed constantly. So he's like, if you're not letting us change it, he's like, you're going against exactly what Walt wanted. Everything, like he's like, it's supposed to get updated. It's supposed to change. Yeah. And it's like, damn you, Marty. Like, so we've kind of lost that connection now, which is kind of, and he was at D23 last week.
Oh, wow.
Like, that was the big thing. He was actually talking at D23. So this was very sudden, which makes me worry about Stan Lee. Everything makes me worry about Stan Lee.
We've always been worried about
Stan Lee. Stan Lee was at D23 looking perfectly fine, waving at people, doing all of his thing, and it's just like, oh no.
He didn't have his walker either, which was kind of huge. Because I think that's what, I
think the fans pumped him up enough to that point. Especially, like, everybody's like, his wife passes away, and this is what he goes and does, and it's like...
No, that's what he goes and does. It's like...
And I'm like, people grieve in different ways, man, like...
And honestly, he's got so much support, like,
tons.
between family and friends. It's like...
Well, and I think going to...
These conventions
and seeing fans do their thing is a big piece of it, too.
Yep. I think that's what she would have wanted him to do anyways. So... What's the price on that?
$200.
Yeah. Our dollar's okay now. in other non-game movie news, our dollar's all right. It's getting there. So, only $220, not $205 million. Yet our video games are still pricey.
Always. They always will be.
So that's it.
That's it for news.
We stretched that good, guys. Good job.
Yes, we did.
Good job.
Yes, good job.
Kudos. Always good job.
45 minutes.
Yeah. It is what it is. Maybe something big will happen in the next 5 minutes, and you'll catch us. You know, if something happens in the next 5 minutes, and we'll be here.
And we'll break into the post-credit show like we did the last time.
Yes.
We won't end early.
Today we promise a full post-credit show. Okay, now if it helps.
You guys were on for a good hour and 50 minutes before
Nick talked about his stuff. I just
before I crashed.
I was 3/4 of the way through. You came in. You quickly talked about yours. We didn't get to Brian.
We never got to Brian. If it helps, I don't think he did much. Okay, if it helps, Brian got a Switch.
Yeah.
We did.
That is why we left.
Yes.
Post-credit show information.
Yes. Addendum. He got one.
So yes, he did
Apparently.
get a Switch. And now we can 4-player Splatoon, which we'll talk about in the post-credit show.
Aha!
So, stay tuned, everybody. You can check us out at barrelrollnews.com.
That's where you'll find all of our links to social media sites, including Facebook, Twitter, Discord. Discord is the big one right now. You can
Reddit.
You can watch us and talk to us at the same time.
Don't think our Reddit's on there yet.
No.
www.reddit.com/BRNN.
That's us.
r/BRNN.
And
easy.
if it helps, that's another place to find the backlog of all of our stuff because it automatically loads now.
So if you want to take a look at some of the past playcasts or other newscasts, anything like that, go take a look.
It's
comment,
all
subscribe there. Yes, subscribe to our subreddit so you can get notified when we post stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Just
all of
subscribe.
That. Just hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the post-credit show.
Bye.
Bye.